What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update. Way too hot today to go into the studio, so we're
boiling.
working remotely for today and tomorrow. We're saying right now it's about 37.5 degrees outside. It's mental weather, absolutely mental.
Hope everyone's heeding the weather warnings.
Yeah, exactly.
Not traveling.
So everyone stay safe today. But it might be hot outside, but we've also got some hot info fresh off the press today, which
Lovely.
we're going to go through today. And first one we're going to talk about is Djed Spence. Matt Law is saying that Tottenham's protracted signing of Middlesbrough's Djed Spence is being further delayed by paperwork, but the transfer is expected to go through later on Monday or Tuesday. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer for this Djed Spence announcement, it seems.
You know, I was saying to Henry yesterday, I was like, if they're holding up the shirt, then it's pretty much done, except for that one time I know about. Have you ever saw that Leeds documentary where they were about to sign Dan James and he was holding up the shirt and then a last minute hitch stopped the deal and then it never went through. I was like, yeah, I'm sure it won't happen this time. And now it's like more delays, more delays. I was like, oh, God. It better not happen again. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know what the paperwork... Look, with Daniel leaving, you never know what final details he's got lined up, what paperwork he's got that he's asking for. So, look, there's pictures of him holding up the shirt. I'm sure wouldn't have got that far if this deal was not going to happen. So,
yeah,
just have to wait.
You'd like to think so, but it's like negotiations between two chairmen that are basically as hard negotiators as each other, like Gibson and Levy, both giving as good as they're getting. So the deal's pretty much done. I think it will get announced probably by tomorrow, I would assume. So
they wouldn't have done the social media duties if it wasn't done, surely.
Yeah, that's what you'd like to think so. You'd like to think so.
When's that ever happened? I don't remember any time that's ever happened. I don't know.
Don't know. You're saying Dan James?
I'm saying for Spurs, I'm saying.
Oh, for Spurs? No, I don't think it's ever happened. I mean, did we get that far with Willian?
No, we never did the social media stuff. With Dan James as well, that was also on deadline day. So that was also part of the reason it fell through. It was literally a last minute thing. So I'll be very surprised it falls through at this point.
No, this is going to be done. This is going to be done. I'm guessing by tomorrow we'll bring you a announcement video. Let's hope so. Anyway, but in terms of some rumors, next one we're going to talk about is Nabil Fekir, and a publication out in Spain called Fichajes Football is saying that Tottenham Hotspur are in talks with Real Betis for Nabil Fekir, and the Spanish club want £40 million. What do you reckon? What do you reckon about that?
I actually think he's a good player. I actually think he is good, and I think he's done quite well ever since he went to Betis. No, not 40 million. 29 years of age. To be fair, his injury record has been like fairly decent. Like that was a big worry for him, but he's regularly played over 30 league games for Betis. Like his goals and assist tally is not terrible, but it's not like out of this world either. He probably gets like probably averages 6 or 7 goals and 6 and 7 assists a season, something like that. Like he's pretty good, but he's not one I would be excited about signing. I don't think I don't think it's one we should be pushing a boat out for. I mean, 40 million for a 29-year-old attacking midfielder. I don't know. I think we can spend 40 million in a better place than Fekir. Might as well.
Yeah. I really rate him. I think he's a top quality player. And, before that injury and, he had all those serious links to Liverpool, I think it was at the time.
He was at Lyon and he pretty much signed for Liverpool. They did there's an example of a team who did social media before the deal went through, because he had a picture in a Liverpool shirt, didn't he? And then it fell through.
Yeah, and that season he got like 18 goals for Lyon in that year. And then obviously I think he went through like quite bad injury problems after that. But since joining Real Betis, yeah, you're right, about averaging around 7 goals a season, 5 or 6 assists a season as well. I mean, we've already got a player that smashed it out in Real Betis in Giovanni Lo Celso. So
I honestly, part of me would rather give Lo Celso another go than sign Fekir. I don't know. I don't see Fekir as. I think he's also a bit of a luxury player. I don't think he's like the hardest worker as well off the ball. So whether he fits with Conte's style, I don't know. Is he? I think he could maybe fit in a front three as well potentially, if need be, as well as in the 3-5-2. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like the right fit for me. This deal, I think mostly is his age. I just don't think I don't know how much longer he's going to be at the top for with the way he plays. I don't think he's been that outstanding. I think he's been good at Betis, but has he been that outstanding where I'm convinced that he'll be very good for us? I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah. Look, I think that when you're looking at an attacking midfielder, I just think the James Maddison links just make complete sense because English, ready-made for the Premier League, obviously. He's getting better and better year on year as well, James Maddison. And I think that one just makes sense. It's just about how much of a fee he would command just because he's got the English tax. But money shouldn't really be a problem for us right now.
It shouldn't. We should be able to spend or push the boat out for Madison, I think. Although you could argue if we're going to push the boat out, we should go for a centre back. But I think the money's there. There's no excuse. The money is definitely there.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. Let's talk about Giovanni Lo Celso now and Javi Mata. Well, let's talk about the Fiorentina Uno links first. And a Fiorentina publication say that Tottenham have blocked Lo Celso's move to Fiorentina. The Italian club's proposal did not please Spurs. Javi Mata says that Lo Celso is waiting for Villarreal and Emre sees him as a priority signing. This week, movements are expected, and Dario AS is saying that Villarreal are looking to sell a handful of players to fund the transfer of Giovanni Lo Celso. How much do you reckon we get for him?
Well, they say we want like 18 million, don't they? That's the rumours. I mean, I don't know how much
How many players
Villarreal
do they need to
spend.
sell to get 18 million? I mean, they got to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, and they were going to sell Danjuma as well, but that fell through in the last minute. Of that list of players, apparently Pau Torres is on that list of players they need to sell. I don't know what their finances look like, to be honest, but you would think that it shouldn't be too difficult a deal to do. Maybe it's a case where we just do a loan with an obligation to buy, and then and then if they don't have the money right now, they could commit to it a bit later on. Maybe that's going to be the case, but that makes the most sense. I guess it's just Tottenham when their demands probably dragging the deal. I think Villarreal trying to pay the least amount. So I don't know. I don't know what's holding up the deal, but I don't think we're thinking about him next season anyway. So whether that deal goes through right now or not, I don't think we're considering him part of the first team. So he shouldn't affect transfer plans, I don't think.
No, absolutely right. And in terms of Pau Torres, I mean, now we've got Lenglet in. I mean, there's not much need for Torres, is there?
No, not him specifically, because I think they're quite similar in how they play. I don't think having Pau Torres. I think we're probably better off going for someone who's plays more centrally, and then waiting for the left centre back next season. Like for a Bastonio Gvardiol, I don't see why splash out big money right now for Pau Torres unless we're convinced that he as well could be as good as some of our other targets, because he's going to cost big money. So unless we're sure about him, then there's no point. That's why the Longley thing makes sense, because he's on loan. So I mean, look, if we got Pau Torres, I'd be happy. Don't get me wrong. I think he's great defender. But I also can see the logic in not going for him right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see us going for him now. Now we've got in Lenglet. I think that we need someone that's predominantly centrally that can cover a bit on the right as well. That's what I want, especially with these Tanganga links as well. But we'll get into that in a second. Memphis Depay up next. Fabrizio Romano saying that Paratici is an admirer of Memphis Depay. However, right now at this moment there is nothing advanced in the dealings between Tottenham and Barcelona for Memphis Depay. The more and more I think about these Memphis Depay links, the more it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, he's a guy who can cover a few different areas of the pitch to a good quality, and obviously he's a big player for Holland as well. He's got some really good attributes about him, and I think I know I said before about the injury problems and stuff like that, but if you put that to one side, it'd be a really good signing.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a quality player. I think it probably would have been better when it was a few years ago, and I mean, lots happened since then. But it hasn't quite worked out for one reason or another at Barcelona. They now got Lewandowski and Aubameyang both ahead of him. He's definitely surplus to requirements. I think he could do a good job but I feel like with some fingers with Depay, I feel like he needs to be at a club where he feels like he's the main man. I feel like he's that kind of character. I feel like he needs to feel like he's the boss around, like he's the main player. Everything, like, things go through him, and he was at Lyon. That's why it worked so well. And even, to be honest, in the early days of Barca, he was that as well, because he was probably the best player, right, in that front three in the early days before things started to go wrong. So that's why he had that confidence about him. I think he has that ego about him. And when he's not the main man, I don't know. I don't think he performs as well. And and if he comes to Spurs, I don't think he will. He's going to be not only is he not going to be the main man, he's going to be quite far down the pecking order to start with.
But
From that basis,
what's the evidence? What's the evidence that tells us that when he's not the main man, that he throws his toys out the pram or stuff like that?
Throws his toys out the pram, just not as good a player. He's
but
not as good.
when have we seen that? Because
Man United.
But Man United, he was very young when he went there. He was very young. So I think it's a different situation. I mean, we're talking when he was at Man United, best part of 10 years ago.
It was
seven, 8 years ago. You know what I mean?
2015. Yeah.
So it's a long time ago now, and he's matured probably in his career. I mean, a lot of people were saying these things were like relevant to Richarlison at one stage before coming to Spurs.
No, it's different. I'm not saying he has an attitude problem in that sense. I'm saying I think he needs to feel the love of everyone. Like, is it in terms of that he's the guy, like he's going to be the main player for in the attack. And when we have Kane and Son, like, I don't know if his ego is going to get in the way of that. I'm not saying he's going to throw his toys out the pram. Richarlison's a bit different, because Richarlison's coming from a Everton side who nearly relegated. He needs to make the step up. Depay is coming from Barcelona. You know, it doesn't get much higher than Barcelona. And we saw the difference between him and Man United, where he was very much in and out the side. He wasn't, getting the game time, wasn't very good. Then he went to Lyon, where he became the main guy. He was number one. And then his performances were very, very strong. Then he went to Barcelona. He started really confidently. Then he started to get dropped and things come out the side, and then things didn't go his way. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't the same player. He wasn't as good. So I think if he came to Tottenham, I think he's going to have to battle for his place. Look, he might be up for that battle, and if he is, then definitely get him in. But I've got a feeling that if he did come to Tottenham, he wouldn't be as good not being the main man. That's the feeling I get.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people feel the same way as you. I just don't know how it would be, because I don't think since Man United we've seen a situation where he hasn't been at the forefront. You know what I mean? And I think even at Barcelona, he was only there for 1 year. Even if that, played 28 games, scored 12 goals. I think he did pretty well at Barcelona, and I think injuries also got to him at one stage as well. And I think that's a reason why they looked to bring in the likes of Aubameyang in January. So look, it's an interesting situation. I, for one, would probably I'd still favour Maddison over Depay, that's for sure. But I would be happy with Depay coming in. I really would be.
Yeah, I think so as well. Look, if we get the deal, if we bring him in, don't get me wrong, he's a quality player. And if we believe we can make it work with him, I'll be delighted, because I think he's got supreme quality and he can really help us for sure. And then look at that attack. The numbers in that attack we have would be scary. You know what I mean? 6 serious quality attackers.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Japhet Tanganga. Pietro Mazzara, who's a Milan journalist and a journalist for Sky Italia, says in the recent hours, AC Milan contacts with Tottenham for Japhet Tanganga have intensified. The operation could be defined very soon. Sky Sports saying that AC Milan have open talks with Tottenham for Tanganga. Spurs are open to the possibility of letting the defender leave on loan. So these talks with Tanganga really hotting up now.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like he could well be set for a Serie A move, and it'll be interesting. Look, it'll be very interesting to see how he does out there, especially a side like AC Milan. If they're going to give him a lot of game time, it's going to be very interesting to see if he performs to a high level. Because at Spurs, when he was given a run in the side, he'd always been a bit hit and miss. But if he, but it's going to be interesting to see if at Milan there's going to be big pressure on him for a big team like AC Milan. It's going to be serious. It's going to be interesting to see how his confidence is and how he performs. If he performs really well, like do we sell him for big money, or I don't know if there's going to be a fee involved for an option to buy or something, or or do we take him back? It's a lot to be decided if he makes that move. But definitely going to keep a very keen eye on him because I think he could do very well there.
Yeah, and if he does do well and have a loan spell like Fikayo Tomori did last year, he could be coming back a defender in demand. And, we could either sell him for quite a big fee or we can keep him and, reap the benefits of it the following season. And I think I've said it all along. I think if Tanganga has a big loan move this year, I really think it could be the making of him.
I got a feeling that AC Milan would want obligation, an option to buy probably in there. A bit like I think Tomori had that as well. So because they're a big enough club that they'll probably think we're not just going to get. I mean, Spurs got a loan move for Longley, but I don't know. I might be wrong, but I've got a feeling they'll probably want an option to buy in there, which might prevent us getting a bigger fee. I wonder how much an option to buy would be if we put it in there, probably in the 25 million euros, probably something like that.
Yeah, and I think with the prices that are being bandied about for him right now, which we're talking about, like what were they talking about, like 8 to 15 million or something like that? If you were to sell him right now, it's still a good price, 20 to 25 million. But I got a feeling if he was to have a really good loan spell at AC Milan, we wouldn't let them take up that option.
We wouldn't let them take up the option?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because, I don't think they'd put an obligation in there. I think it'd just be an option to buy. And I think that if he had a really good loan spell, we would call him back and then see how he fits in, or maybe get a bigger fee.
If option to buy means if they trigger it, that's it. We can't do anything.
I thought we could cancel it if we wanted to.
No, that's not what option to buy means. It means if they
pay
the
obligation, they have to take it, and an option is that they have the choice to take it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want an option in there at all then, if that's the case. I think that we would have to just leave all these kind of clauses out because who knows what can happen in that year. And Chelsea are definitely regretting putting that option in the one that Tomori.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, because he's class at the moment. They could do with him right now. Imagine how them, it saves them a lot of money as well. They have to be spending big money on centre backs. When Tomori, he's been one of the better centre backs in Serie A over the last year. They won the league. That's how good he was. So, yeah, I guess it'll also be very interesting to see where they play Tanganga as well. Whether they see him as a right back or a centre back. That's also going to be very interesting.
Yeah. And as we talk, apparently Juventus are about to complete the signing of Gleison Bremer, which is very interesting. So another one bites the dust for Tottenham Hotspur. Juventus have come in and gazumped Inter Milan.
Yeah, what does that mean for Inter and them selling? Because they still haven't sold anyone yet. I don't know. Like Bastoni's still there, Skriniar's still there.
I do think Skriniar to PSG will get done.
But then what does that mean? Who are they going to sign? I don't know. I don't know what that means for the domino effect, the fact that they missed on Bremer, which is interesting. Bremer's going to Juve because Juve sold De Ligt.
Yeah. What's interesting is these Bayern defenders, because De Ligt's come in and it's been rumoured that Bayern have put 3 players up for sale in Pavard, Upamecano and Tanguy Niazu as well. Tanguy Niazu is a young up-and-coming defender. I mean, apparently Upamecano is up for sale, but apparently he didn't have a great season last year in the Bundesliga.
He was brilliant.
I would still take a punt on him.
Brilliant for Leipzig.
I would still take a punt on him for sure.
Yeah, I'd be interested in him. I'd definitely be interested in him.
How much do you reckon he commands?
I mean, they signed him for how much? They signed for 40 million. I think 40 million euros, something like that. Or was it bigger? Upamecano. I remember it was a big deal they signed him for. I'm trying to remember how much it was. So I mean, transfer market is valued at 36 million.
Yeah, which has gone down from 54 in the last year.
They signed him for about 40 million. About 40 million. So it's gone down.
Taking a 50 million transfer bid and see what happens.
He's 23 years of age. You know what I mean? He's got so much scope to improve. I think he's better. He would do very well because I think Leipzig used to play a back 3, so I think he's quite used to that system. Obviously, Bayern don't play that. But then again, Nagelsmann was his manager at Leipzig. I mean, so if he doesn't fancy him now at Bayern, that would be quite an interesting statement. But Pavard, I like Pavard as well.
He would play on the right of a back 3, wouldn't he?
Yeah, right centre back. I like him at right back. I don't know about him at wing back though. I think he's not quite attacky enough.
I agree. But yeah, some interesting links there. I mean, the Upamecano thing has not been spoken about. He has been linked with Chelsea because they'd missed out on Matthias de Ligt, so it kind of makes sense, that one. But Chelsea are just going after every single defender going at the moment. Kimpembe, Koulibaly, Koundé, Upamecano. They're going to have some serious defense next season. And in terms of serious defenders, we've got a quote from Davinson Sanchez, and he says, every summer it's been the same, and of course there are always possibilities, but the Premier League is the best league in the world, and you have to be a part of it if you want to compete against the best players. And that's obviously him talking about these exit rumors, and he's just saying that these rumors come around every year, and he's still here. Do you reckon there's a chance that he does leave this summer?
Yeah, if an offer comes in, I think of course there's a chance, because I don't think he's a player that if we get the right money for him, we don't sell. Like I think we're probably open to selling him. I think we're probably demanding a fee which no one's prepared at the moment. Probably around, I would say, 25 million. Also, probably want for him. I don't know if people right now are interested in that kind of fee for Sanchez, and I think he's good enough right now to be backup. To be honest, I like him. Although pre-season he looks shaky, but he has been playing on the left, which is interesting. I wonder why he's been playing him on the left in pre-season. I don't know. Maybe
we had no one else to.
Yeah. But it's interesting. Chose him and not like Romero or something. You know what I mean? Who's probably going to be more comfortable there. Maybe he's just doing it to try and get him more used to it and getting him more used to being comfortable.
Didn't we see Conte in his early stages at Spurs play Sanchez on the left a few times when Ben Davies couldn't play?
Trying to remember. I think so. I think you might be right.
In the Conference League and stuff like that.
There. I'm trying to remember.
Well, Nuno, we didn't play a back three under Nuno, did we?
No, he played left centre back a few times under Nuno. I remember.
Oh, in
the cups.
I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't look as comfortable on the left as he does on the right. It doesn't make sense, but
it's because his body shape is more natural to be able to easily play the pass out wide to the fullback when he's on the right, and when he's on the left, his body shape means he has to turn more to find that pass to the left-hand side, and he's not as good on the ball. So it's easier for him when it's a lot simpler, but when he's being pressed, and he's not very good with his left foot as well. So when he's being pressed, he always wants it on his right foot, and it just takes him an extra second to get it on his right foot to move out, to push out to the wing back. Whereas when he's on the right, I feel like it just very easily can just do it, like with one pass and stuff. And maybe that's why he gets pressed a lot more easily, and he struggles a bit more on the left-hand side. That's how I feel anyway. If he had a bit more of a left foot, it'll be easier, but he doesn't.
Yeah, unfortunately not. The last quote we've got is Heung-min Son talking about Richarlison, and he says, adding players like Rishi is incredible. He's a quality player, so I'm really enjoying that. I've been with him only 4 days, and he's become like a really close friend. So Richarlison integrating well into the Spurs squad, it seems.
Yeah, and I always thought he would. He's a great character. He seems to be a dressing room favourite at Everton, and I think that his mentality and his personality would fit very well into the Tottenham squad. And although on the pitch he seems to be, have a nasty streak, off the pitch he doesn't seem that the same person. And we needed that on the pitch, a bit more of that nasty streak from our forward players. But off the pitch, I was sure he was going to fit in with the likes of Kane and Son. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And you saw Son talking to him, didn't you, on international duty in South Korea? They seem to be getting on back then as well. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. And I'm sure they're going to create a great partnership on the pitch as well.
Yeah, there seems to be such an amazing atmosphere coming out that dressing room at Spurs at the moment. And this was like the hallmark of the Pochettino side, the fittest team in the league, amazing atmosphere and togetherness coming out of that dressing room. So exciting season ahead. It really is an exciting season ahead.
Yeah, 100%. They seem more together. They seem together more than ever, to be honest. And it's really great to see, especially since the early days of Poch's first time we've seen this squad so united, and that was a big problem. And the latter stage of Pochettino under Jose, you remember Lloris calling them out after Zagreb, saying how there's what he said there was splits in the dressing room. It's not, the mentality isn't there and stuff like that. So now under Conte's united everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet. I think the summer as well has helped bring in the quality. So everyone's excited for a new season. Can't wait.
Do you think it affects anything negatively that these players that are not involved with Ndombele, Reguilon, Lo Celso are going to come back? The players are going to come back to training and they're still going to be there. Does that affect anything negatively at all?
I don't know. I like to think not, but you never know because they're still friends with them, so they're obviously going to chat and stuff, and maybe they're going to feel harshly treated, and that's going to make everyone else feel like they're being harshly treated. But I think everyone right now, especially the likes of Kane and Son, like they know right now is the time for them. Now is the time to really try and win something. If there was ever a time you're going to win a trophy at Tottenham, it's now. So you can't let yourself get distracted by anything else. And I think they're going to hopefully get that into everyone's mind. And Conte seems to get that as well. So I don't think it should affect anything negatively. And they're probably going to be sold anyway. So. But I don't know. You never know. Maybe it could. I think some other things to just take note. Dybala's having a medical Roma, so that saga is finally going to come to a close after a long time.
It'll be a good signing for Roma. Really
why don't
good
we
signing.
still go for Dybala? He's going to Roma now, so it's going to be it's interesting going to him onto Jose with Tammy Abraham up front.
You saw Jose's new tattoo as well.
Yeah, with the 3 European trophies. Classic.
Probably the first person in the world to get Conference League tattooed to himself.
Yeah, of course he is. I knew it. I knew he would. And one other thing to note, the Premier League announced today that to try and help with the time wasting problems, they're going to implement a multi-ball system, which I think, I was about to say they've had it, but apparently before Premier League clubs could choose whether they implement it in their ground or not, and Spurs for forever have always had the one ball system. I don't know why. We're in 2022. Why the hell are we playing with one ball? Like this is £1 billion we're playing with, and it's like, we've got one ball for the game. That's all we got. And then the crowd keep it for 10 minutes, and that's 10 minutes gone. And then, so I think it's about time that this is being implemented around the grounds. I don't understand why they've never done it before. So hopefully it could quicken the games up now in the Premier League if they've ever.
Why bring it in the year Burnley get relegated?
Exactly. As soon as Ben Foster's out of the Premier League, now they bring it
in. But there's not that many teams like that in the Premier League. The Burnleys, the Stokes, these kind of vibes. When you're looking at the Premier League, most teams like to play football now, don't they? There's not many teams that sit like low block and try and waste time.
Yeah, they're maybe it's a losing strategy now. Maybe that's starting to happen.
Yeah, but no, I think it's a good idea that they're bringing in this multi-ball system, and it's going to make the games a lot quicker in some aspects anyway. But that is your Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we brought to you. Hopefully, we will bring you an announcement for Djed Spence tomorrow. But as of today, that is it from us today. Thank you, everyone. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.